Yo, what is up everybody? It's Peace out. Welcome to another video. So, the long-awaited Traptrix Therion Rikka combo video is here. So, say you drew your Mardell. Now you're kind of messed up because you're not going to be able to make the full board. And before, this type of hand was a death sentence. But now with the introduction of Cattycorn, we can still combo and end on multiple disruptions. So this hand is actually going to end on 4 disruptions without even utilizing the Therion package, which was a problem before. When we drew the Mardell, I was considering cutting this card because I hated it so much. But now it doesn't even matter. We do not care. We only play like 1 or 2 bricks in a 40 card deck, which is fine when it works out that way with the math. So with this, you're going to go ahead and normal summon your Mantis. That's going to trigger and then search out your extender. Now remember, this locks you in your extra deck into only insects and plants for the rest of the turn. So be careful. You're like, how is this going to end on anything good? You link summon for your Traptrix Sarah. Now you're going to trigger the effect since you control a Traptrix monster to special summon from your hand. It's a good habit to place the monsters into the zones that your Aromaseraphy Jasmine will point to, because it does need to tribute a monster that it points to. So it's a good habit to always keep something there so that you always have access to that ability. Now, Traptrix Sarah's effect will trigger since we activated the effect of a Traptrix monster. This will set any hold trap, normal trap from our deck to the field. We're going to set Traptrix Holutea. We're going to go ahead and activate that and get rid of the trap that's in our hand. So for this example, we're just using bottomless. It can be any hold trap, or it can be any of your other normal traps that we spoke about in the deck profile the other day. This will special summon your Holutea. Since a trap card was activated, Traptrix Sarah will trigger again to special summon from our deck. We are going to go ahead and special summon Dionea, since we did end up discarding a whole trap hole. This can be literally anything else if you didn't, but since we sent a whole trap for Holutea, we're going to try and plus as hard as possible, and we're going to get that bottomless back to our field. So remember, during the next during your next end phase, it will be banished if you don't use it on your opponent's turn, essentially. So keep that in mind. Now, Aromaseraphy Jasmine takes 2 plants. So we're going to go ahead and take our Sarah and our Dionea, and we're going to link summon into Aromaseraphy Jasmine. Now, here's where the Rikka portion comes in. We're going to overlay it to one of the zones that Aromaseraphy Jasmine points to. For Rikka Queen Strenna. Don't worry, this guy is also a common in one of the reprint sets, I think Megatons possibly, so very cheap for you guys. We're going to go ahead and detach one of our cards, preferably the trap, just in case this somehow stays on field. If they somehow out your Jasmine, you want to have Holutea in your graveyard so that you can trigger it on your opponent's turn to disrupt their plays. So you're going to detach and then target a plant in your graveyard. You're going to go ahead and get Dionea back to your hand. That's pretty useful. Next up, you're going to trigger Aromaseraphy Jasmine's effect to tribute this to special summon from your deck. Usually you would summon Mardell. You can also summon the, what's it called? The Therion Lily Borea, tribute it off, and search for the field spell, the Therion field spell. Activate Discalcium to search your Regulus, and then use Regulus to attach your Therion, your Therion Lily Borea to it. So that's your Omni Negate. But that's only 1 disruption and then some protection from the field spell. And you're already not being able to link into Apollosa because you used Arachnocampa's effect earlier in the turn, which locks you into insects and plants from your extra deck for the rest of the turn. So for this combo, we're actually going to summon Cattycorn. Now you can go ahead and chain block this. Chainlink 1 Cattycorn, Chainlink 2 Rikka Queen Strenna. Since it was tributed while it had material, you can special summon from your extra deck a big plant So we're going to summon Sacred Tree Beast, Hyperion, and we're going to equip this to the Hyperion as XYZ material. And then Cattycorn, since we don't control a field spell, we can search Traptrix Garden. So you're saying, Patrick, we would have already had this, even if we went for the route of the Therion. Why wouldn't we want an extra Therion negate? Say hypothetically you don't own the Therion package. You now have access to Cattycorn, which allows you to search your Traptrix Garden more consistently, or if you have another powerful field spell that you want to incorporate into your deck, you now have that ability. This gives more access to budget players. But that's not the only reason, because as you see, I have the Therion package. Why would I include this in my deck? So since I drew the Mardell, this is the optimal play. Sometimes this will be the optimal play even if you don't draw the Mardell. So you're going to get the Traptrix Garden. I'm going to change what would have been 1 disruption into 2 more disruptions and some follow-up. So what we're going to do is we're going to activate our Traptrix Garden now. Now that Dianea that we added back earlier, we get to additional normal summon. So we're going to normal summon Dianea and activate the effect. Bring back our copy of Mantis. So previously the Dianea had triggered to set our bottomless trap hole to our field, which means it's going to get banished on our next end phase of the next turn. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to trigger Mantis to add this back to our hand and then immediately set it. Now it was set off by the effect of Mantis and not Dianea, so we no longer have that banish restriction on this card if we don't use it during our opponent's turn. So even if they don't special summon a monster or summon a monster that has 1500 attack or more that we want to destroy and banish, it doesn't matter. We will have it for the following turn and it will not get banished, which is really useful. So that's a good effect. Next up, we're going to go ahead and make our first layer of disruption with the Traptrix Rafflesia. So there's 1 disruption that we would not have had if we went the Therion method, and this can protect you from a variety of things. It can do damage if you send Gravedigger's Trap Hole. It's a Traptrix card by name, which allows you to trigger Sarah's effect if you bring Sarah back off of Holutea. So this already adds slightly more disruption and more follow-up than the Therion package would have. But we are not done there. Next up, we're going to use Traptrix Garden's effect to banish the Jasmine from our field to special summon the Arachnocampa from our graveyard. Now we have 2 more level 4 monsters on the field. Now remember, we are locked into plants and insects. You can overlay for a second Rafflesia, but what I think is really good here is overlaying for Pingulia. So, Pingulia, you can go ahead and detach, and this will allow you to search your deck for follow-up. Like I said, we are searching follow-up here, so now you've got a Myrmelio for your follow-up turn. You can even search another Mantis if you want. Mantis will guarantee you more than 1 body, but the odds of your opponent outing this board game 1 are very low, especially since you do have Holutea. If you don't use it on your opponent's turn, you can use it during your turn to start your turn off with a Traptrix Sarah, and that will just snowball advantage for you, and you still have plenty of link monsters in your extra deck to, really mess with your opponent. The other effect of Pingulia is if your opponent has a monster of theirs banished or sent to the graveyard, you get to quick effect attach it to this. That is an extremely powerful, underrated disruption that you'd be missing out if you went the Therion method. Hopefully this kind of lets you know why we're playing Cattycorn and the opportunities that it provides you in this deck. I think it definitely deserves a slot, even though it's essentially a brick. But it just gives you your awkward hands more potential to actually give you a combo that your opponent's going to have to struggle with, which is where this deck kind of lost before. You lost when you didn't build enough of a board to disrupt your opponent's combo, but now, more often, you are drawing a hand that will allow you to combo, sometimes even through hand traps. And that's basically a little bit of theory. So you end on multiple disruptions and follow up with this combo. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that video. I'll go ahead and link in the description the other video with the previous combos, because that video actually also has the same type of combos still in this deck. Nothing really got banned or taken out, so you can still do that same combo with this deck profile. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.